Hey, hey, you beautiful people. It's yours truly, Tammy B, coming to you with another session of Real Talk with Tammy B and Company, the show where we are recording live so that you amazing people can actively engage in the chat in conversation with us. So if you are watching via another platform and have questions or comments for the panel, switch over to YouTube at That's a Woman to join the conversation. And if you are on YouTube, please, sir, please, ma'am, please drop us a comment or question throughout the talk, and I will be sure to share as many as I can with our panel. And one more thing before we get started, I want to ask if you amazing people are not part of our community to please join us by subscribing as we are here weekly at 7:30 p.m. Eastern with new content. And as always, I'm extremely grateful for you amazing people being with us, along with my peeps, my girl, Miss Cola E, that great, who is so dedicated to the cause, y'all. She is in on the way, I guess, from Tampa, Florida, back to Orlando. So she's with us in the car this evening. Hey, Cola.
Hey, 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 everyone. Hello.
Welcome. Thank you for being with us on your vacation right now.
Oh,
How
I'm
is your
trying.
trip going? How's your trip going?
It's good. I am definitely enjoying it. It's always good to be on vacation.
Listen, I know. I look, I had to come back.
Yes.
I was down there with you for a couple days.
Yes, you were.
I should be still there. And listen, our
Yes.
man Shelly isn't with us, but we have our lovely guest, the Miss Sherry DeVos Dinard. Hey, Sherry.
Hey, how you doing?
Girl, amazing. How about yourself?
Not too bad for an old lady.
Girl, hold on. Let me correct that right here, right now. We're not old. There's a thing there. What does wine do? It gets better with time. And so that is what we are doing. We are getting
Okay, go with it. I'll go with that.
Go with it, girl. Go with
Go
it.
with it.
Look, let
Yes.
me direct you to the secret, the book, The Secret, because it tells you don't say you getting old. Look at life as aging in reverse. That's what I'm doing. Just
Hey, you don't. You definitely doing that. You definitely doing that.
thank you. So are you. So are you. And
Thank you.
listen. Our guest tonight, everyone. I met this lovely lady some months back. A mutual friend, Chelsea Speaks, who was with us a couple of months ago, a little while back. She had a group of women who are entrepreneurs and making some things happen in the world today. To which I've had both Chelsea and Kia on the event. And now I have Sherry to the table. So,
Yes.
welcome again, Sherry.
Thank
Excited to
you.
have
Thank you.
you.
Yes, excited to be here.
Girl, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Look, I get excited. I love when connecting with good vibes and good energy. So that's why I'm all giggly right now. And so listen to that point. Listen, Sherry,
Yeah.
I didn't recall your bio, and when I read it, I was like, oh, she's gonna have to talk about something that I didn't know. So let
Oh,
me give the people a little bit about you.
okay.
So people, Sherry is the owner of, again, Sherry DeVos Denard Agency, which is down in McDonough, Georgia.
Yeah.
She's your State Farm agent.
Uh-huh.
Sherry is also an author, a philanthropist,
Mhm.
and a cover girl. Now,
Yeah. Yes.
Sherry, you're gonna have to tell us about being a cover girl.
Well, yes, we can get into that for sure. For sure.
you know. So
Yes.
before we get into that, Cola E,
Yes, ma'am.
how's the vacation going? Tell me what you guys did. You said y'all went to Tampa. What y'all went to Tampa for today?
Yeah, my sister lives in Tampa, so when I come down here, we very seldom get to see her because we are all over the place.
Mm.
And so today was a we had some downtime and decided to go see her in Tampa. So that's what we did. And, I love a good long drive. So looking at the Florida landscape and all that good stuff, just being away from home.
Nice.
And
Nice.
without, when you're at home, it is always something that needs to be done, whether it is in the house, whether it's regarding your job or personal business. It's just always something to be done. And so when on vacation, your mind can rest. You're not thinking, I need to get up and go do this, or I need to do that, or I need to meet this deadline. You just kind of like just go with the flow of things. And so for me, although I like to go and visit things in the state, but just not having that extra added pressure or stress of meeting deadlines and having to do things, you are free from that when you're out of town.
Mm-hmm.
You are free from
Unless
that.
unless you're that
So even
workaholic. Unless you're that
yeah, unless
workaholic
that
that likes to take your laptop, your phone, because they like
no
to
ma'am,
do it.
no ma'am, no,
Look,
no
Sherry, put
ma'am.
her head down, Sherry.
I'm
Sherry,
not doing that.
Sometimes it happens. Sometimes it happens, right?
When I go out of town, I like to be off the grid for
Yeah.
real. I like
Yeah.
to be off the grid. And even friends that I may talk to on a daily basis or even every other day, I don't talk to them when I'm out of town.
I can see
Hey,
that. I can see that.
I
unplug.
like
That's
to
the way to
be,
do it.
yeah, I like to be off the grid
Well, look, I
Mm.
got a secret for you. I could be right here in Atlanta
and
and
be
off
off
the
the
grid.
grid. But you know what? But even when you're at home, like, well, for me, I keep my phone on because I'm always emerged, like, my daughter and my granddaughter, my mama, and my family. I be worried about emergency situations. But
Mm.
even just having a peace of mind of, when you wash laundry and you want to fold your clothes and you might be doing something and it's just bugging you. I got to get and forget, get around to fold these clothes. Out of town, you just don't worry about the little things, even the little household chores.
Yeah.
Your mind is totally free. So yeah,
As well, it should be more of that. Our minds
yeah,
should be free, but we are clouded
yeah,
with life because life is life.
girl,
100.
yeah.
100.
It, it,
Yes.
it is life and it is lifing. And so, Sherry, I know you busy, so I'm so grateful you are here this evening. I
Okay.
can't express enough. But before we jump into our talk with you, because I'm already prepared and excited for some of the stuff that we're going to talk about. I do want to acknowledge that we have crossed over into Leo season. So
Yes.
shout
Leo in the house.
Okay, Leo.
Hey.
Hey, listen, I love my Leos. I love my
Yes.
Leos. Look, I gave birth to a Leo, so I love my
Okay.
Leo.
Listen, it is in
Okay,
season
Leo's are
right
good
now.
people.
Yes. We like to
Our
think
Leo's
so.
typically Tevin is real laid back. You like what now?
Oh no, we like to
What did
think
you
that.
say, Leo's?
She like to think they good people. I have to agree. I agree.
Yeah.
She's right. My son, he just sit back. In fact, some people think he has no personality because he just like, but he just watcher. He's a watcher. He's an observer, but he's a protector and he's very confident. As a matter of fact, AI gave me a readout on Leo's personality,
Do tell.
and it's characterized by confidence, warmth, and well, it says a love for the spotlight, but that's definitely not my son. Look, that I know of. Look, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, Leos are some very, very amazing people. So I love my Leo. So what day is your birthday, Sherry?
August 3.
All right, almost.
Coming
So
up.
next weekend.
On a Sunday. Yes.
Yes, okay, that's
Yes.
Sunday. Okay, well, look, happy early birthday to you.
Thank you. Thank you. And you know what? In Leo style, we take the whole season. So it's relevant. It's relevant today.
Listen,
We'll take
almost every zodiac take the whole season.
we'll take the whole season.
I'm like, I know. Tell me one that don't. You got the Gemini's. It's Gemini seasons for the whole month. You
Whole
got
month.
the Cancers. It's Cancer season for the whole year.
That's
I'm
it.
just saying. Just
Yes.
saying.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, and you know what? By Cola being in vacation, guys, what I if you see notice in my hand with this pretty henna, we did this in
Nice.
Orlando. Um when we were down there. I was like, y'all, I'm going to get a henna. So next thing I know, Cola and her other homegirl that went down there with us, all three of us were getting us some henna. So
That is
yeah,
very
and
cute.
then look, while it was explained to me, like if you go to an Indian store, they're gonna be like, "So who got married?" I was like, "Huh?" So apparently,
So that's an indication that you got hitched.
or somebody we went to an Indian wedding,
Oh,
girl.
but it's very artistic. Very nice.
It is. Thank you. And it was so fun because like
Yeah.
it'll wash away.
Yeah.
Granted, I have like 15 tattoos, but
Okay.
they're corporate friendly, what I like to call them. And so my hand, I've always been like, yeah, no, I can't put it there, but I can put something that's gonna fade away and it's not painful because the other ones hurt.
I have never gotten a tattoo, so I don't know.
Don't. You're fine. You're fine.
Okay.
They're cute, but they're painful. They're
I've
painful.
heard. I've heard.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
I don't know which hurt worse, my stomach or my back. I don't know, but they oh yeah. I think if I got my
You're
stomach,
not alone. I don't have one either.
Okay. I'm not alone. Thank you. Thank you, Cola, for helping me out right there. I thought
listen,
I was
there's
the only
there.
one, the last Mohican, not getting a tattoo.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so listen, I gotta say this. I gotta say this as we get ready to start jumping in. I gotta say this. Last week, if anybody missed our men's talk, that talk was so good. So the third Wednesday of the month, I have a men's only conversation.
Ooh.
And the vulnerability that those brothers shared, the talk, like I just sat back. It's almost like I said, I just threw the carrot out there and they went chasing it. And they had
Wow.
some real raw, talked about how, even their someone was talking about his how his father never told him he loved him, or
Mm,
show, these are the conversations that break down the emotional barriers that we have between men and women if we get through
mm.
the source of it. So I encourage anybody, everybody, when you have a chance, go back to my YouTube channel and listen to that because that was a good
Definitely.
talk. And we're going to have the next one on the third Wednesday of the month. So those brothers will be back and there'll be an additional guest on with them.
Hot. Okay.
Yes. And so now let me say this.
Yeah.
The conversation started flowing so good. I didn't ask any, I like to ask an icebreaker question. So I didn't ask last week. So Sherry, I'm gonna ask you and Cola. It's the summertime and a lot of new movies have come out.
Uh-huh.
What's the best movie? What's a good movie you've seen lately? Or have you seen a movie, whether it was good or not, since this year, 2025? What have you seen and what did you think about it?
Mhm. You want to go first, Cola?
Go ahead, because I have to think about it.
Well, I have to say Sinners, right?
That was a
I have
question
to
I
say
was
that.
gonna ask about. What you thought about it?
I had to see it. I actually saw it 3 times because there was so much being dropped. I couldn't pick it all up on the first. I don't know if I was ready for the story and all of the Easter eggs and everything that came along with it and the subliminal. I don't even know if it was subliminal messages or just straight out direct messages, but I thought it was really good. There was a lot to take away as far as I don't know. It was biblical. It was musical. It was I don't know. It was just it was a lot. I can't even deduce it down to one word or one sentence or one phrase. But I definitely thought it was worth seeing. And just in case nobody's seen it, I don't want to give it all away.
Hmm.
But I don't know. There were a lot of messages there. I still feel like I need to go see it again. What did you have you seen it?
I saw it. I saw it. I
So what
saw
did you
it.
take? What,
And
what,
I
what was your
like.
take on it?
I
But
listened to.
sometimes movies are
Go ahead, Cola.
so deep that you do have to study them.
Yeah,
You have to watch them more than sometimes 3, 4 times. It's been some movies that I've watched at least 4 times.
yeah,
To get the message.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh yeah, because
messages.
there's just so much
Message.
going on.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
message is. Uh huh.
Yeah, there was a lot going
Yeah.
on with that one.
There and that's it, Sherry. There was a lot going on with that one, and yeah, and now I do like. I heard yeah, and somebody put in the chat. Sinners is the movie that they seen. Anybody else drop some good movies that you have seen in the chat, because actually 2025 is has been churning out some movies. Actually, I'm looking forward to, and I hope it's good because I'm a Marvels junkie, so I'm looking forward to
Ah,
Fantastic Four, which is getting ready to come out.
okay.
I'm looking forward to that. But no, Sinners, I like how Yana Van Zant was like equating the light to the darkness and was saying how, once you invite darkness into your life, it's hard to let it go, to get rid of it. And, with a vampire, they can't come in according, to the legend until you invite them in. So that was kind of like the light dark analogy that she made. And I definitely um found it interesting, that little walk through the music, how
Mhm.
they went through, how music is like, we know that's like the cosmo, the frequency of the universe. And so,
Mhm.
like the African cultures, and how, that's kind of their worship, their thing. So yeah, I definitely got, some of the connections from there.
Mhm.
um I will say this though, and maybe I need to go watch it again, Sherry and Cola, because now there's one movie that I watched that I got the message out the gate, and that was They Clone Tyrone and Cola. I think we talked about this months back on this show, on this platform. I got what they were saying out the gate on that one. Sinners took me a little longer to catch the message, so I probably have to go back a third, second, and third time as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because I hear it definitely. I mean, I mean, I love. I do take interest in watching vampire movies. I used to watch the Twilight Saga and the
Yeah,
Vampire Diaries and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
but okay. So, just a little fun fact for today. Today was Vanilla Ice Cream Day.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Cole, you in sunny South Florida, not South, but Central Florida, you should definitely have some of that today, because woo, it's been hot enough.
Well, I had some sherbet ice cream for breakfast. I didn't know I didn't have vanilla ice cream, but I had some sherbet.
Ah, well, hey, you can take it. You can take it. And did you all know
Yeah.
that today is gorgeous Grandma Day? So to all you grandmas out
Oh, I will
there,
take it. I will take it.
yes, yes. Or as I like to
I
say,
got it.
grandmas out there,
I
today
will take
is
it.
your
Yeah.
day. Okay.
Okay now.
All right now, grandmas. I guess I could fall in that category. I woke up one day and became a grandmother. My oldest
I,
child, my
what?
oldest child is dating a young lady with kids. So all of a sudden one day I become
Oh,
a grandma. Yeah, I woke up. I woke up one day. Went to sleep,
That
woke
is
up
so
one day.
funny. I never heard it put like that before.
me
That's
either. I was
funny.
like, how does that happen?
Right?
Hey, hey, listen. Stranger things have happened, right? Especially
Yes.
when when your children are males, it always be people will always ask me, "Well, do you have grandkids?" I say, "Not that I know of."
I got
Oh, and that's honest.
I got two.
You have two?
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
you look amazing as a grandmother.
Well,
Yes,
thank you. Thank
yes,
you.
young. That's
Keep
what
me
I'm
on my
saying. You
toes.
girl, you young. You young. All right. So listen, Cola, tell the story about the weird news that we was gonna talk about today. Tell me the
Mm.
weird news.
Oh, girl, we talk. Then Tammy, we talk about a lot of stuff. You're gonna have to remind me.
Girl, the MRI incident.
Hold on, wait a minute.
The
You know I'm
MRI.
in the car. Got all these sounds. Oh, the MRI. Yes.
Give me 1 second. Somebody's at my door.
Okay. I'll wait for her to come back.
No,
Yeah,
you can
that
go
was
ahead. You can go ahead. Now go
okay.
ahead and tell.
So there's a man who was walking around in the hospital, and he happened to be walking in an area that he should not have been in anyway. But he had on this necklace chain that that when he was walking past the MRI area of this hospital, the MRI drew his chain to the machine,
What?
and he died. He got caught, sucked into the MRI machine, and died.
I didn't see that story.
Yes,
Oh
I
my
couldn't
God.
believe it. That story and it just happened a couple of days ago. It reminded me of that movie where you watch the setup is accidental deaths. And
Yeah.
it's like I forgot what you call it, what the name of that movie is. They have like a one, two, and three. But
Wait.
what do you
So he
say?
was walking by the machine? Did I hear that right? He
Yes,
walked by the
walking
machine
by the machine, and the
and the
MRI
chain.
magnification was so strong that it pulled his necklace to the machine, sucked him in, and he died.
I have never heard of that happening.
I haven't either because
So Google, me neither.
are those
That's
machines
why this
like
is
in
called
secluded areas or something like that? Like no one should be able to walk that close to
Tammy.
them?
Can you Google while we're on the? Can you Google while we're doing this?
Sure.
That's crazy.
Crazy. That's why this is
That's
called weird news.
Hey, you guys are giving me good material to talk about life insurance today for sure.
I
Keep it going, keep it going.
Yeah, but that's the
oh
craziest thing. Tammy, you pulled it
yeah.
up.
That was a
That's like the
scene on one
freakiest
that just
accident.
came out. Oh my God. Why somebody put in the chat Final Destination. That was a
That's
scene
the movie.
on the
That's
one that
the movie.
came out.
That's it.
Yeah, that's the
That's
movie.
it.
Final Destination. It's like they show. It's a movie about different accidental deaths. I can't
Like
stand
for
to watch
real.
that movie because it has me paranoid. I don't
Yeah,
drive
I don't
behind
like to
log
watch it.
trucks. I don't drive behind log trucks because of that movie. It's other things
I
I
don't
don't do because of that movie.
yeah,
Tammy,
I don't
read
like scary movies. I don't look at that one.
read the art. Can you read the article? Do we have time?
Yeah, yeah, real quick. So according to AI, he was 61 years old and
Yep.
he was killed. He died after being pulled into an MRI machine by a
Yep.
20-pound metal chain he was wearing around his neck. This
Yep.
incident occurred in Nassau Open MRI in Westbury, New York, while his wife was undergoing a knee scan. And apparently, he was led into the MRI room by a technician to assist his wife. And his family claims he was not told to remove the metal chain, which he used for weight training.
Well, that sounds like a lawsuit.
That exactly,
Exactly.
exactly.
And what lesson can we learn, class?
I, I don't know.
Y'all don't get the lesson. What? Don't wear
Well, I mean,
metal. Don't wear metal in the MRI room.
Well, we
hey,
know that. I mean, that
we
was a
know that
given.
part,
So
but
Well, he didn't know it.
I can't tell grown folks what to
facts,
do.
facts,
So
facts.
yeah.
He didn't know it. And the technician didn't know it.
Or
How the
didn't think it was
technician
that
didn't
serious,
know,
That
or
well, see
didn't
now
think it
that
was
or
that
wasn't
serious.
or didn't, and like you said, or didn't think that it was that serious.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm, I'm
oh
sure he's never seen anybody get sucked into the
the
MRI
MRI
machine
machine.
before.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow. That
look.
is bizarre.
That is very
Bizarre,
bizarre.
isn't
We
it?
labeled it weird news when we were in Florida and talked about it. We was like, "Oh yeah, no, that's some weird news." We going and then to find out that that was a scene on Final Destination. Listen,
No, I don't know if that was a thing. Who did somebody confirm that that was a thing?
yeah, somebody put that in the chat.
Okay.
Wow.
That's
I don't know if they were referring to the movie that I was talking about, or if they were actually saying that that was another that was a incident in the movie.
okay. So
That's in to clear it
let
up.
me clear this. Let me say this clearly. Final Destination. That was a scene on the one that just came out.
That's crazy.
Well, The
I wasn't gonna
Simpsons
I
used to
was
predict a lot of stuff.
Wow. I'm speechless.
Yeah,
It's
she's
not funny. Certainly it's not funny, but oh my God.
No, it's not funny, but
like you said, bizarre. Bizarre is the word to describe that. That is bizarre.
Yeah.
A
ab-
bizarre. That is a bizarre death. Yeah. I know he didn't
absolutely.
wake up that morning thinking that his life was going to end because of that chain on his neck.
But honestly,
You
who
know,
really does
stop
get up
Tammy.
healthy and think that something like that or anything is going to happen? I mean, let's look at
True. That's
Malcolm.
true. That's true.
Yeah, look
But
at
you know,
Malcolm
when you
Jamal
just
Warner.
it say that again.
I was
But
getting
we're
ready to
talking about.
mention
I
him.
mean, Malcolm Jamal Warner. I mean, we're just talking about walking to and around in the hospital, going to support your wife with her knee scan. You know,
That's insane. That's
nothing
insane.
dangerous about that.
So we thought. Clearly, there's something dangerous
Yeah,
about
exactly.
that.
Yeah, I
Wow.
didn't even know they really just let people in the room, but I guess so. If but look, I bet you everybody gonna take precautions now. No metal, period. Whether you going on this table or not, because
Well, sometimes they put those things around you, those vests on you when you go in the X-ray rooms and things like that. I'm
yes,
surprised they didn't have him put that on,
they probably wasn't
but
thinking. I
they
would
weren't
want to
thinking.
be curious to know, like, did maybe something happen and maybe it was a rush thing and they didn't think it through? The technician, like, we need
Yeah.
your support or she needs your support or something like that. That's the only. I mean, that's the only guess that I could have right about now because that is weird. That is weird. And speaking of deaths, I did before I mentioned Malcolm, I did want to acknowledge the passing of Ozzy Osbourne. For those of us 70s been around a while, him and Sharon, they've been around for a very long time. So condolence to the Osbourne family. And then
Mhm.
yes, like Theo.
Going on vacation.
Girl, that was very tragic.
That's traumatic. I just cannot even imagine
Yeah,
what the little girl. I mean, she was out there in the water. She got saved. What was the wife thinking? Surely you're thinking he's going to pull through and he doesn't. And you're on vacation. You're away from your familiar place. I cannot even imagine the trauma and the
yeah,
pain that
yeah,
that comes behind something like that. It's just
yeah.
awful. It's
Yeah.
awful. I really hate that.
And it's so crazy as as you're saying that, I'm thinking I remember one time one of my girlfriends, I think she was in Jamaica and she had went on a morning swim and look, another weird news, like a baby crab some kind of way got in her ear.
Here,
Don't act like we don't even
I
know.
wish you could see my expression. I wish you could see my expression right
I
now.
can't even fix my face over here.
A
Wow.
baby crab. She literally, because and it's so crazy because this been over 15 years ago, but I recall when she was telling the story, she was like, I was the only one out there. I don't know how, but I was like, I'm gonna make it back. Like, yeah, so weird things do happen. And I hate to think, like, wow, but even as I'm thinking of where Malcolm passed, y'all do recall that's where Left Eye lost her life in Costa Rica because that's where he passed.
Really?
Oh, wow. No, I didn't even connect
Hmm.
the dots. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, that's where she had that accident over in Costa Rica. That's
Hmm.
where he.
But
That's where his accident happened.
wow. But I've heard it's such a beautiful place.
Oh, my son and I are talking about going next year.
Yeah.
We would have tried to go this year, but it was too rushing last minute, and we didn't. But yeah, we have our sights on Costa Rica. Because I'm very holistic, and I love the earth and nature and all that stuff. So I want to go experience that. So I still
But I
will
think you
go,
should.
but it's
I
just
think you should. I think
Of
you
yeah,
should.
course, absolutely. Because I mean, deaths occur everywhere. You know.
Everywhere.
So
This just
yeah,
happens to be a high profile.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
A high
exactly.
profile incident. Yeah. But I really, my heart goes out to his family. I really hate that for him, his family. You know, that was really tragic when I heard that.
Oh,
Mm.
tragic for everyone. In fact, my heart stopped.
Yeah,
I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, because when I saw it pop up, I was like, did I see that right?
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't
What?
believe it.
Yeah.
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 Heartbreaking, heartbreaking, heartbreaking.
Yeah, because the first thing you think
Yeah.
of the cute little Theo back in the day, although he has matured into a very handsome man, but for I'm like Theo, you forget their real name. You know what I'm saying? It's their character, but
Mhm.
he left his parting words in some poetry on what was what was the radio station? Um I don't want to
Oh,
say it was the Breakfast Club, but it was one. He just did some poetry just a couple of days ago. Um
I think I saw. I think I know. Oh God, with Sway,
I didn't see it,
Sway
but I heard him
Universe.
say they did.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Wasn't it
that
Sway Universe?
yes. Yeah.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
anybody want to look it up? If I would have thought about it, I could have well he used profanity, so I try to minimize that.
Hello.
He it was yeah Sway Universe, and it was
Okay.
but it was
Universe.
actually a wake up call, like talking about how we not really free when we think we free. It was an interesting piece. It was an interesting
Hey.
piece. So definitely
Yeah, I make three.
anybody can go look at it. And I was like, wow, who would have thought a couple days after he did that he would be leaving. So it's at the end of the day, one of the messages for look, Cola, you asked about lessons learned earlier. The message is we got to cherish every moment. We got to stay present in the moment. We got to love ourselves, love our loved ones, let the people in our lives know that we love them because you just never know. You just never
Mm.
know. And it was interesting. COVID taught us that with how quickly so many people were leaving, and that the sting of that has left, and people have gone back into whatever mindset that they were in prior to COVID, which is disheartening. But at
Yeah,
the end of the day, we can't take no one for granted. You
you
can't.
can't.
So
You
let the
can't.
people in your life know that you love them, you appreciate them, you're grateful for them, and all of the above, and do kind to one another. Listen,
Mhm.
the world is already doing a lot of harm to on their own. So our
Facts. Facts.
families, our loved ones, we need to be kind. Even our communities, it's time for communities to come together, people to come together. And I feel love can change the world, but
It
a lot
can.
of people got to be mindful. Let us be mindful. Let's set the intention. Let us set the intention.
Very well said. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, Miss Sherry, I'm ready for you. I'm
Listen
ready.
to the Buddhists coming through. Come on through.
Did you say the boot?
Come on
The
through.
what?
I said peace, love, and harmony. Mother Teresa, come on through, girl. Come on through. Tammy turned it into a yogi.
Yeah.
Listen, girl, don't play with me. Don't Shakola, don't get me. You don't start no mess right now.
I know that's right, girl.
I am going with whatever is going to make us better as a people, me as a
I know.
person.
Ain't that it?
Let my light shine. So
And
hey,
she's practicing it too, for real.
oh, thank you for noticing.
Oh, girl, you know we hit that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, Cola
yeah.
and I had some deep. She was like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, yeah." My walls have come down. I let my light shine, and I try to spread it to all. Love and positivity, love and light. Yeah, so yeah, I'm a yogi, a Buddha, a Christian,
All
I'm
the things. All the things.
a mutt. I'm a mutt. I'm a mutt. I heard somebody say it's a cafeteria. So I'm picking something. Yeah, because I feel there's
We'll see.
wisdom with all. So, but listen,
I
beautiful.
agree. I agree.
Yeah, I don't believe it's if we're gonna limit God to just one thing. God is omnipotent. He's everywhere at all times. So,
Amen.
again, when
Amen.
you put that love, you got it all
He
covered.
gonna
And
come and get her. He
Amen.
gonna come and get her, right?
amen. All right. So listen, guys,
I
before
know
we
she said
dive
she
in,
wanted. That made me
remember
want.
if
Yeah,
you have
she said
questions
Davy
or
coming to get her.
comments,
So I had me got to take
please
the head out.
drop them in the chat for us. So now, Sherry,
Oh, that's
cover
fine. I
girl,
got.
tell us about it.
I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Cover girl, tell us about that because I see the face. I see you. I see it. I see it. I see it. How was that experience? How did it come about? You don't have to go into too
Yes.
detail, but share us a little bit about it.
Well, the cover girl thing came about because I was a part of an organization here in Henry County, and they've actually spread their wings quite far now. Ariel Shaw is the CEO of um, Women in Business, Southern Crescent Women in Business, and she does a phenomenal job in that space. And as a part of that, she set it up so that we can all be featured on Sheen Magazine.
Mm.
And so I just happened to be, God will place you in the right place at the right time every time, right? And so it was just a tremendous opportunity to just kind of be on the cover of Sheen with alongside some other great females and entrepreneurs. And it was just amazing. Can I just say that it was amazing? I don't want to downplay it. It's they had hair, they had makeup. I had never experienced anything like that in my life, and I'm forever grateful for that opportunity. And it's kind of immortalizes you a little bit, right? So um, I don't know what to say beyond that, but it was quite an honor and a pleasure. And it also gave me a different lens, into that side of the world, because that's a lot of work. Hair, makeup, you think people just get glamorous and show up on the camera looking amazing, but there's a lot that goes behind a person arriving like that. So, I came to respect that, that whole industry and what they're doing to bring forth these stories and these covers for us to enjoy. So yeah, shout out to Sheen and the Southern Crescent Women in Business for, bringing that to fruition for all of us to be able to, partake. And it's history, it's history. The other magazine that I had the pleasure of gracing with was my sister. I call her my State Farm twin, Kim Mays, and she was also on Sheen with me as well. So we were on the Game Changers magazine. So shout out to Game Changers magazine and Andrea Mallard, who is the editor of chief of that magazine. So, we were able to share our, journey as a State Farm agent and just, how we are connected to the community and spreading love, as you say, right? Because life insurance really is love insurance, and just how we can be of help, and not just by trying to sell you something, but it really is just an educational opportunity so you guys understand how we can protect you and your family.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And to your point on the magazine, I've done a couple of photo shoots, and so I already know that is a long day.
Yes, yes.
You go get the hair done and then circle and go get the makeup done and get to the studio and yeah, I
Yeah.
totally get it. So yes,
Hats
props
off.
out to you on that one. Oh my God,
It's,
but I'm sure that was an awesome experience. Oh my
I will
God,
never
Lester.
forget it. It was an awesome experience. Very awesome. So yes. A lot of work. A lot of work.
Mm, nice. Hold on. All right, let me mute. Okay, so now also, I see you're a philanthropist in your bio. So let me ask you this: what personal experiences or beliefs inspired you to dedicate either part of your life or your life to philanthropy, and how do they shape the causes that you support today?
Sure. For me, I think it's extremely important that in whatever position that you're in, to be able to look back, give back, and be a part of someone's journey, you can make the difference if you just get involved. And so many of us, like to just do our own thing. We don't look back. We don't want to, that's not my problem. But it really is your problem. And it really goes back to you saying that what's the whole big purpose of being here in life? And what if it's all over tomorrow? And what was your give back? What was your input? What was your imprint? I like to say imprint here on earth. And I
Mm.
think it's imperative that we are givers and not just takers in this life.
Oh,
Because
that.
at the end of the day, if we're not demonstrating those behaviors, really where are we going to end up as a society if we just don't care? And I don't think, for me, I think I was born that way a little bit. I don't think it just evolved. I've always been someone that wanted to help in any capacity I could, whether it be by my money or my time. or my talents, whatever it is that I can do and leave a situation better than I found it, I
Mhm.
certainly will try to do that.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Um,
I love it. I love it.
yes,
Well,
that
thank you.
that that is awesome. So let me ask you this. So in your view, what's the most overlooked needs in the communities you serve, and how can others begin to make a meaningful difference in that area?
I think our children really need our attention. Um, I can't say that enough. So our children they got a lot of distractions. Distractions that many of us didn't have when we were growing up. I mean, they got social media. We didn't have that. And to some degree, I'm kind of glad we didn't because of the distractions.
Amen.
It's
Amen. Amen.
I know, right? I was sitting here like, yes, yes. Go
and
ahead.
I
Cause
think
let me tell you, I would have been girl. Let me not. Let me stop. Go on. I'm sorry.
well, let the church say amen, right? But seriously, that's where I see we really need to go back and take pause. People pause, get off your phones, go spend time, get involved because creativity is getting lost. Critical thinking skills are being lost. We're shoving them through the school system, and then they're getting to college and they're destined to fail because we haven't set that foundation. And so I think, everybody's out there chasing a bag and they're forgetting about home. And I really believe that's where we got to start because these are the people that are going to be leading us at some point. So you better
Sherry,
start paying attention.
I said
Listen,
that. I said that a
I
long
say
time ago. Long time
I
ago.
say Sherry for president.
I don't want that smoke. I don't want that smoke. Uh, but I'll do my part and vote.
Cause
But
honey, you said a lot. You said a lot. Once you dig down into everything you just said, that's a lot, and you're right.
yeah. The
I
root
agree.
of, I think our future is in jeopardy if we don't pay attention and go back and go to the public schools or whatever we got to do in large, by and large. We can keep pointing at the parents and that's a big part of it, right? But
Hmm.
these kids, they don't get an opportunity to choose the parents. They don't get an opportunity to choose the neighborhoods and all that stuff. And so, I think it's incumbent upon those who can go back and influence and be a part of those kids' life as much as we can.
Right.
Again, whether it be by time, money, whatever it is that you can offer, but try to do your part and stop making it somebody else's problem. It's everybody's problem.
I love it. I love it because for me personally, I've had conversations like this. Like, if the kids are not learning, they're not growing, they're not evolving, you got to think they're going to be the ones leading the world in the future. So, what does that look like?
Phew.
So we got to get it together. And then, especially the way this society is going right now, it's almost like we got to get strong leaders in place to be that, build that wall to help protect the masses, to where we can fight together, to be a shield, and we all go in this fight together because it's rough in these parts.
Well, and the other part of that, Tammy, to me is you got kids that are struggling to find their identity, and they're looking at all of these superficial things on social media that are attainable or aren't practical, trying to fit an image that they think is beautiful or the media has painted as beautiful. It's a false narrative, and it's really creating this self-hate, I feel. And it's a little disheartening to see women alter their bodies in such a way that you can't reverse some of this stuff, um, distort their faces and do all these things when you're already beautiful.
Yes.
You are, I look at some of these young ladies, you're enough. Who's telling you that you have to do this? And if they are telling you to do this, that's not somebody you need in your life.
Yes.
You're enough. What God made was enough.
And God he don't make no junk, right? So he
No.
made you perfect.
Yeah.
And Sherry, to that point, that's why I am always calling people beautiful and handsome, and because that is just like something God has me speaking into people's lives, because some people don't think that. I recall one time long years ago when I was in Florida, and I said that to a lady at church. I said, "Hey, beautiful." It shocked her. And I know there were some things going on in her life, and when I said that, she was like, "I received that." And that wasn't even saying to shock her. That was to say because you are.
But
And
let's unpack that for a second.
go for it.
Why was she shocked by that? This brokenness, the little girl inside her probably didn't get it.
Come on,
And
Sherry.
so that little girl has evolved into a big body, but the little girl is still broken. And so when they hear something like that, they can't receive it because nobody told them. Nobody made them believe they were. So they shrunk themselves.
Sherry. I
So there's
said,
a lot to unpack with this brokenness, and not just these adult women that are broken, these little girls that are they're going to be that lady one day,
yes,
and
yes,
shocked to hear that they're beautiful as they are.
as they are, as they are.
It is.
Even the broken little boys and the men,
Oh, it's
like,
all. Oh yeah, it's across the board. I mean,
yeah,
we got a loss, and of course they probably are not even self-aware because this is what they've been exposed to. We've
is that
reduced ourselves down to accept mediocre, and we've reduced ourselves down to where we don't even know ourselves anymore or what is beautiful. It's a sad state of affairs.
and you know what? And they're doing so much they can to keep us from that knowing. And that's where those distractions that you were talking about, because even when as you were talking about it, I was thinking, like, I've heard cases where there are people who've tried to get cosmetic surgery to look like one of those Snapchat things and stuff like that. And it's like some of the
Self-hate.
work that they do, I can't help but wonder, like, why do you think that looks better than the way you were? And then what they fail to mention, self-image is here. It's
Yeah.
here. I just finished listening to this book, Psycho Cybernetics. And long story short, in the book, the book was written by a plastic surgeon who a lot of people came to him to have work done, whether it's something in their face or an accident might have occurred or they were born with something, whatever it was. And they had this done thinking, oh, I'll look better, I'll feel better, the people in my environment will like me more, this, that, and the other. But the problem was they didn't fix this. So when they got that plastic
Didn't matter.
surgery done, it had no effect on them because their mind never caught up with the fact that it's not external, it's you. How do you see you?
You got to validate yourself.
Yes.
We're seeking validation from all the wrong places. Seek God's space, seek His direction and His affirmation and His validation, and then everything else will follow, right? But we are, like I said, it's a sad state of affairs when we get to a point in life where you can't even go and work at a McDonald's without lashes on because you don't feel like you're complete,
Right. Right.
What is going on when we get to the point where we can't, go to the grocery store with no makeup?
Girl,
Um,
listen. They
yeah.
see me at the grocery store and
Like, who is that? I think I
I fight to put it on. I listen, I was girl. Look, when they did that return to office in my company, girl, I still to this day, and
know.
that's been like 3 years now. I still won't wear makeup unless I got an event or something. Y'all gonna get nope. I didn't ask to come here. You gonna
Gonna get
get me
all
all
this. We're
natural
gonna get
brown,
all of this.
all of it, because I embrace my beauty. Now here's the thing: I had to do work. I had to see myself, like you said, as
Oh,
God
we
see
all
me,
have.
knowing that I'm physically made, fearfully and wonderfully made in His image. That's tatted here to remind me of that. I know I'm beautiful as I am. Now, yeah, do I struggle with things? The weight,
We all do.
that's that
We all
that
do.
that goes without saying. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I like me. And I want others to like them, and fix that broken little boy, that broken little girl. Walk into your power and your knowing,
Yeah.
because that's
Yeah.
what it's about. That's
Healing.
great talk.
Healing.
Great talk. So now let me go ahead to the real topic that we're here about life insurance.
Let's
Mm,
go there.
let's go. So tell me,
Yes.
what inspired you to enter the life insurance industry, and how has your perspective on its importance evolved over time?
So, to be fair, I'm in the insurance industry. As a State Farm agency owner, I sell all lines of business, right?
Okay.
Auto insurance, home insurance, life insurance, health insurance, business insurance. We do bonds, we do bank, and all of that. But I do have an affinity, if you will, for life insurance because that is the thing that you can put in place. It's a verb. It's that love that's for your family because you know you have to pass away for someone to collect. It takes a deep love and commitment to ensure that your family is going to be good beyond your life. Now that's love. That's love. And I think there's been such I don't want to call it a stigma, but a distrust around this. Maybe, and I don't know how widespread. I don't have statistics or anything like that. Just in talking, sometimes I think people feel like, oh, if I start talking about life insurance, I beckoned death. Oh, I'm gonna die tomorrow, you know. Or I don't want somebody to come up on, my death, uh, via life insurance and be living better than when I was with somebody else. Whatever the craziness is. At the end of the day, it's bigger than this, folks. It's bigger than this. Because when you go and you got bigger problems than this, I promise you that if that's what you're worried about. But I really want to unpack, the myths around it, the misunderstandings around it. And everybody's a candidate for life insurance, first of all. I can't promise you you're going to ever have a claim for your auto. I can't promise you you're going to ever have a claim on the home, right? You may never have a claim, but that is the one claim I promise you you're going to have because no one gets out of this life alive, first of all.
Mm,
We all have an appointment. We just don't know when, we don't know where. And just like we've been talking up to this point, that's true. If you're walking in the hospital to be with your wife and you get sucked in the machine, who's planning it? If you're on vacation with your wife and your child, who's planning that? So understanding life insurance or your life is not promised to you, not even in an hour from now. So all you can do is plan as if it could happen any minute. We can't only control what you can control, especially if you have a family, folks. If you have a family, you have a spouse, you have children, you have people that are depending on your income. And God forbid you get called home sooner than what's expected, whether it be car accident, cancer, whatever it is, God forbid, you're gone just like that. How did you leave it? How did you leave? How do you want people to remember your legacy? Did you
mm,
leave it in a good place so that they can carry on your wishes? So the children can still go to college without debt. So the spouse can still raise those children in the home that y'all work so hard for. What are you working hard for if it can all be lost in a moment? So, put something in place, like life insurance, and there's different types. There's two primary types. You got temporary and whole, and then you got types under those umbrellas, right? A temporary policy is well suited for a young family that's raising those kids that have bills in place, mortgages in place. People are very much dependent on your income, and then all of a sudden you're gone tomorrow. Term is very well suited for a family. You got things in place, and that person's gone all of a sudden. You want to make sure they can carry on. You want to do that. Then you have permanent insurance that you can either couple with the term or have it singular, but it is designed to stand the test of time. Is not going to expire, right? You can put that in place as well for children, and it can become a living as well as death benefit. Now this is where you start shifting generational wealth.
mm.
This is where you start sewing in some old money. You know what I'm saying? So instead of using money and I don't want to say, if you can do both, okay? Buy the Jordans, buy the trendy things, but buy something like this that they can actually use when they become adult. that they can actually sink their teeth in. Perhaps they want to use it to buy their first house. That's a down payment. Perhaps they want to use or leverage that cash that's accumulated in that policy. Perhaps they want to use it as seed money to open that first business.
Mm.
Or maybe they want to borrow against the money from themselves, right? Because it's their policy to buy that first car instead of going to a bank. This is where you become the lender and not the borrower, right? The head and not the tail, above and not beneath. I didn't make that up. It's true, right? But it's the choices that we make that can be the thing that shifts the trajectory of your generation. It's just a matter of making a choice and in a decision not to be selfish, right?
Wow.
And be educated about it. Because a lot of times we perish for lack of knowledge. If we don't know any better, we won't do it. So be in a place where you're willing to accept the education so that you can make that decision to change the course. If the train is off track, right? And you don't know it's off track, take the time, set up the appointment, put a sense of urgency around it. Just like you put a sense of urgency around, your auto insurance, your home insurance, because the law is making you do it or the mortgage company is making you do that. Put a sense of urgency around putting something in place to protect your family. I pray that Malcolm had things in place, right? He didn't plan
Mhm.
on that,
Right.
but he left behind a little girl and a wife, you know. So that can be anybody. These stars just happen to be in front of the camera, but they have families just like anybody else. It's their job, They have a job just like anybody else. They just happen to be in front of the camera, and so that we know who they are, but doesn't mean they have their stuff together.
That's true.
I mean, I think Prince died without a will, right?
Wow. Um,
You
I
know.
actually have a question for you. If I, well, there's an ask of you. Speak
Yes.
more about borrowing from life
Mm,
insurance policy.
absolutely. So that would be a permanent type of policy. They come in different types. You have universal, you have joint universal, you have survivorship, you have pure whole life, you have limited pay whole life policies. All of those are designed such that they accumulate cash value by way of dividends. Okay. Now
Okay.
it's not so. I don't want anybody to be confused to think, oh, if I get a $50,000 whole life policy, I can borrow $50,000. It takes time for that cash value to accumulate, right?
Hmm.
And depends on how much you get. So if you get a $200,000 whole life policy and you're paying $200 or $300 a month, you can expect that cash value to grow more aggressively, right? There's different types. With that being said, with the cash value that's growing inside of it because of the dividends, at some point you're gonna have access to borrow against it. I have people that'll call and guess there's no credit check, there's no red tape. You know how when you go to a bank and say they check your credit, how much income are you making, yada 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 yada. Oh no, there's none of that. There is call your agent, Sherry, right? Your agent Sherry, that's a plug-in. Call your agent Sherry. Hey Sherry, I got a whole life. It's been in place for 10 years. How much cash value do I have? I don't know. I might say $10,000. Cool. Can you have me a check ready in 15 minutes? How much of it do you need? It's ready. Done. So imagine putting something like that in place for your children. I've done it for my grandchildren because when I had children, they were small. I didn't know any better. Nobody taught me this. Now that I'm in a place of authority where I can speak to something like this and I understand it, I have a bullhorn. I tell
Mhm.
everybody about this, you know,
Man,
put, put it in place for your children. Have something that they can actually sink their teeth into. Leave that legacy. Make them financially savvy. Start building that old money in there. What are we doing?
Mm,
So, like I said, we can't stay here forever.
no,
But what are we doing to make it better than what we found it? You know,
love it. Love
set the
it.
tone, set the pace, and be the example. And if you say you love is a verb, right? It's an action. This is an actionable item that you or something you can put in place that screams, hey, I didn't want my family to suffer. I didn't want them to figure out how to bury me. I didn't want them to figure out how they're gonna keep this mortgage. I didn't want them to figure out anything because they got enough to have to grieve over my body. Let them not also have to grieve because I didn't plan for it.
And can I add to that? And you and not that people would matter, but don't let the world see that you have to have a GoFundMe account for your service.
And GoFundMe is not life insurance. It is not society's responsibility. Now I get that things happen. You know what I mean? I get it. God knows I get it. You know, natural
Me too.
disasters
Me too.
happen, things like that happen. But you can put, like, for example, if you do a term life insurance
Mhm.
on adults, you can add the children on as riders for just $4 or $5, $10,000 per child, just in case. Because guess what? No one wants to imagine a child leaving before them, but it happens every single day.
Yeah, it does.
And I pray it never happens. That's the policy. I pray you never have to cash. You know what I mean?
I agree.
But if it does, it's bad enough you're going to be grieving over a child. But how much worse is it going to be that now you got to go and beg for money to bury the child
Right.
or get a loan? You got to go in debt to do it, or put, a lien on your house, or go and tap into the equity. All the things that you wouldn't have had to do. Because I want you to think about it like this too. Because people are like, oh, that's too expensive. If you are putting $50 aside to, in effect, reserve $100,000, who's winning?
Right.
Let's really talk about that. So a whole life, $100,000. Let's just say, for easy math's sake, is $50, $600 a year. Maybe at the end of it, if you have a limited pay, you've paid $25,000 for this thing. It's still $100,000 death benefit that's going to get paid out. Do the math. I don't think you're going to get that in the market, and it's a tax-free benefit. Uncle Sam can't touch it.
Mm, that's good to know. That's good to know. Okay, so another question for you. What category does IUL fall into?
So that's an index universal life.
Okay.
Now I'm not licensed to speak on it yet, but I'm working on it. I'm actually almost through. So, but that is an index universal life. Is actually attached to the market. So you're going to see it move with whatever index it's attached to. Um, and that's how universal life works. So you're paying in your monthly premiums that's being, invested in funds behind the scenes, so to speak. You still have your death benefit attached to it, by the way. You still have your death benefits, but based on the fluctuation of the market, it could go up or down, right?
Okay. That's what I was getting ready to ask. So it's possible to lose money. Well, I guess if it's on a down, you can maybe lose versus gaining,
At the
almost
end
like
of
the
the
stock
day,
market.
well,
I'm
it
sorry.
is, attached to the market. So you won't lose the death benefit, right? But your cash value may fluctuate,
Okay.
potentially. But just like anything, the stock market, historically, you're going to win, right? So life insurance really isn't designed for you to come in and out of. People like to get it, I'll cancel it. Get it, I'm gonna cancel this, because they think it's expendable. They think it's, they can put it on the shelf. It's optional. I get back to it. You need to prioritize it, because what if you're not eligible for it next year? What if you get a dreadful diagnosis that makes you uninsurable? What if you have a bad accident and you become a paraplegic? Now you're not insurable. God forbid, by the way. God
Yeah,
forbid.
yeah,
Say
yeah.
that.
But
But
that's
it
real.
happens.
That's
It's
real.
real. It's a real thing.
That's real.
So what you had life insurance, you let it go. Now you had this terrible thing that happened in your life and you can never get it. You've set yourself up, right? The
Wow.
best time to get life insurance, folks, is while you are young and healthy. Think of it
And the
like
rates are
it's
cheaper that way too.
it's based on morbidity, right? And risk. You're young, you're healthy. Think of it like, if I'm young and healthy, life insurance is on sale. Yay, let's go get it. That's how
Exactly.
you need to think about it. It's on sale if I'm young and healthy. But if I'm old and I'm taking 100 pills,
Yeah, because you do have to do that exam. You do have
ah,
to give that.
it's
So
yeah, you have to qualify for life insurance. It's not an automatic.
that is true. So we always need to know that. Okay, so even though this still is not your area expertise yet, but they did ask this question: is it
Yes.
more growth potential with IUL?
So you answer the best way I can answer that is anything that you have invested in the market is probably going to be more than you have it invested, say, in the bank account, right? So the market have ebbs and flows,
Mm-hmm.
but historically, the trend says you're going to win. That's the best way I can answer that. But you're winning either way. In any of those scenarios, life insurance, you're going to win either way. I can tell you, I think it depends on the school of thought, right? So I can say limited pay life insurance. I like that particularly for children. Universal life, you can see more accumulation on option two because one has a level death benefit, one has a growing or increasing benefit. Um, it's a little safer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it just, whatever school of thought. And again, I try not to take a deep dive because I don't want to get myself in trouble there.
Right, right.
But
No.
man, call me back on this topic in about 6 months.
Ah!
I'm burning. I'm like, well, I know, but I can't really
Yeah,
not
no, no,
supposed
no,
to.
no, 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 no.
But you
We
wait on it.
stay in your lane. Look, stay in your
I'm
lane, and yes,
well,
we will
I'm
have to
easing over there, but I can't get completely over there yet. So hold up. Let me keep the little licenses I have in place right now.
Yes, please. No, we want you to keep all of them and
I
then
need to keep
add
all
to
of
it. We
that.
want you
Yeah,
to keep all and add. That's
I'm
it.
adding. I am adding. So
It's
stand
about
by.
growth and expansion and evolving. So
Yes, and I
yes,
can't wait to come back and have that conversation
and we
freely.
are going to have you because that
Freely.
look 6 months plus is easy.
Give
I
me six
can't even
months.
tell how far my this calendar is booked out right now. I think I've had to stop inviting people because I'm so far booked out, which is an awesome thing.
That's
Because
a that's
like
good
I'm
problem.
literally booked. I'll go ahead and say I am literally booked to May of next year.
Oh wow.
That's how my platform is. So
Hey,
I'm so
we
grateful.
we we prayed that you book busy and sold out continuously in perpetuity.
Yes, I receive it. I
Amen.
receive it. I receive it. Yes, yes.
Yes.
Amen. It is so
Yes.
and
Yes.
so it is. Yes.
Yes.
So let me ask you this. What are some common misconceptions people have about life insurance and how do you address them in your work?
Yeah. So it's expensive. Oh, I already have it at work. Let me talk about that. Because that's a big one I get all the time. Oh, I already got it at work. Good job, by the way. Because it's not going to be any cheaper, right? Because it's group insurance, and group insurance is designed to be just that, cheap. And it's cheap because there's a small chance that people die at work. Would you agree? So there's a small chance the company's going to pay it out. So yeah, everybody get on, right? Um, that's a misconception that you are good, that's good enough. I would encourage anybody and everybody because most people's tenure at jobs is not like it used to be. Oh, I'm gonna stay somewhere for 20, 30 years. I'm good. I'm gonna retire, get this pension and this, that, and the other. And the third, that's not the case anymore. Most people, you can imagine their shelf life, well, I guess the shelf life at a job is what, 2 to 5 years or something like that. They're not, the longevity is not there. So don't depend on corporate America to take care of your family in that capacity, not something that delicate. Put life insurance in place that you're in charge of, right? That if God forbid something happens to you, it's going to pay off the mortgage. It's going to make sure those kids can still go to school, this, that, and the other, no matter where I go. Because I locked that in while I was young and healthy, right? I took care of that. So I'm not worried about if I get a promotion at this other job and I'm growing in my career. Good, I got it at work, but guess what? That's gravy. I never considered what I had at work as my primary. I've always had it secondarily, even before I became an agent. Mainly because I have a special needs daughter and I was single parent for a long time, and I never wanted to imagine if something, God forbid, happened to me, that somebody was going to struggle to take care of mine. Oh no, they were going to be more than good if they were taking care of mine. So you can. Oh, here's another misconception: you can only have one policy and you're done. That's not true. I have five, right? I have a mixture of term and I have a mixture of whole. And to mitigate the risk, of course, if something happens to me and I still got a mortgage and all the things, but if God allows me to outgrow the term, I still have my permanent ones that's gonna rock with me until God calls me home, right?
Mhm.
But I did it while I was still healthy and relatively young. But at the end, that's another misconception people have. Oh, I can only have one. I mean, you can blend them. You, long as there's an insurable risk or somebody's going to be in financial peril because of it. You know what I mean? As
Hmm.
long as there is an insurable reason why you need that much money or that many policies, do it. Do it. I would encourage you to. Another misconception. Oh, well, if I come with you, I probably should just cancel this one. I don't encourage people, especially if the policy has been in place for 2 or more years. Keep it. If you need more, supplement it with another one.
Right.
And the reason why I say that, you're never going to be age 30 again. If you got it at age 30 and now you're 35 and you want to do something else, well, you ain't going to get $200,000 for $22 anymore. Keep it. Please keep it. And let it stay in place until the wheels fall off, right? Until it runs off the track. If you need more, add another policy, a separate one. Add another policy. Now, if it makes sense to do, I get it. Maybe you just got it 2 or 3 months ago, right? And you decide you wanted more. It's a great, I mean, the rates are about the same. You haven't locked in like that. Maybe it makes sense to do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But, get the consultation from someone that's just not chasing a commission, but someone genuinely concerned about your well being and doing the right thing.
Love it. Love it. And to your point, when you talked about corporate, what people also fail to realize, I don't know how those policies work if you leave the company. Even if you retire, I don't
Ah,
even know if they, are extended to you as a retiree. I don't, do you know anything about how that works when a person leaves corporate America with the policies that they have in place there?
yeah. So, well, obviously, let me my disclaimer there is that all corporate. I'm not corporate, right? I don't have, I'm not the CEO of Amazon, this, that, and the other, or whatever. So they're probably all different. But by and large, I believe when they leave that company, they get something called COBRA or continuation of benefits, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the quote for that is going to look substantially different than when you were standing inside the Golden Gates, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you got outside the Golden Gates, you were singular, individual, and you're going to be rated as such. So when they give you an offer for continuation of that life insurance or whatever it is, it's going to look way different and it's going to be eye popping. And that's when you're going to be like, oh,
Oh darn! Maybe I
oh,
need
oh
to go back
my,
and work for that company.
oh my. And now I got to go and figure out some life insurance in this little gap, right? So that's why I say, have your own that you own, that you control, that's taking care of your family. Again, if I ask anybody, if I'm at a seminar or something like that, hey, what is your most valuable, most important priority? Most people say my family. Oh, yeah, it's my family, my kids, or whatever. But when we start talking about life insurance, we get crickets, right?
Right.
I don't think we're aware that the priority might be a little backwards, right? I don't think it's on purpose. I really don't think it's on purpose. I just don't think we're aware that the priorities may not be matching what's coming out of your mouth.
And I think that's also too part of the programming. And when I say the programming, people haven't been conditioned to some, not to these things to like plan for the future. Like you said earlier, something you said, like some people like, oh well, what if I get the policy and I'm going, I transition right away or something like that. People
Mhm.
worried about the wrong things. You should be worried about, not worried, the focus more should be on how do I establish generation wealth for my family? How do I disrupt this pattern of lack?
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
leaving, paying it forward. Am I in the right ballpark with that?
Yes, you're right where you need to be on this discussion. What we are thinking about it wrong. And again, shift your, start putting gifts and things like that in place that are heaven bound, that are going to get you gold stars in heaven. In other words, be kind to people, right?
Mm.
Do things that are going to put, make it ease the burden for the generation that's coming behind you, or set them up for success. Not to make them lazy, because you're still going to teach them character, you're still going to teach them financial savviness, you're still going to do all of that, but doesn't mean they have to struggle, you know. Be that example of what's possible.
That word
Those are the
right there.
things.
That word right there. Oh, girl, you just hit a nerve. You know,
Mm.
that is part of the conditioning. We've been programmed to struggle. We've been like, I really don't even believe God intended for us to struggle, but that's how we've been taught. That's how many of us have lived. And it's time to change the narrative.
Well, that's how they did it. That's how I was done. I ain't
And
gonna do this if I ain't did. Nobody gave me anything. But was that right, or did they just didn't have a choice?
right, they worked with what they were given.
They did the best they could, so that
Yes.
you can have better.
Yes.
And
I
now
think
that
I
you
was having
do,
a conversation with somebody about even parenting. And I really want to say it was today. And a lot of like, even when it comes to that, there is not one perfect parent on this earth. There is not one. Every parent that made a mistake. You either have the parent that because I had a hard time, I don't want my kids to suffer, so they overkill by overgiving,
oh
or
yeah, you can overdo.
right. Or
Yeah,
then you have the other parent that don't do enough, but or they want their kids to find out the hard way and this, that, and the other. There's
yeah.
just so many moving parts there. And so we need to, especially in the time that we're in, we have access to so much information. And when we tap into that information, we can look at things like, was this really the way it should be? Like, were we programmed correctly? Were we supposed to struggle? Is it
Mm.
not, our ancestors, they were enslaved. So, of course, if it was embedded into them that this life is supposed to be hard, guess what? That's what has passed down to us. And I
Mm.
feel it's time to change all that.
There's some healing that needs to be had, but you got to first know that you're sick.
Mm, that right there. That right there.
Yeah.
Girl.
If you're oblivious to what ails you, you don't know what prescription to go get to fix you.
And
Yeah.
the ego is not going to allow you to acknowledge that you're sick. That's why
Mm.
you have to go deep. It goes beyond the surface. And that is
Way beyond. This is way more than we can unpack in this show here. And I don't have all the answers. I don't profess to know all
no.
the answers, but I do know there's, like you said, it's deeply rooted. We got to go back. You got to go back. You got to keep looking for root cause, and it's going to take you all the way back to the fields.
Yeah.
It's going to take you probably all the way back to the motherland. You know,
Shit.
you got to go way back to understand, because people like, well, especially if you don't know your history, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know even a clue of history or a little bit of history, and you just rolling around thinking, oh well, it's all good now, we good, why y'all mad, or why this that, or why y'all fighting, why y'all protesting this, that, and the other, I mean, then you don't know your history.
Right.
But
Right.
that's, again, that's way too much for me to unpack.
Girl, listen. I want to have a conference, and I think that'll be a great topic to bring to the table, honey.
Woo.
I really want to do an in person conference, and that's
That's deep. That's deep. But I think they need to be prepared to hear the raw truth of what it is. I mean, there's a lot to heal here, and if we don't get, again, go into the children's, we need to go back. We need to reach back. We need to show them what's really important, what's beautiful, what's intelligence is beautiful, by the way.
oh yes, lovely.
And so, I mean, again, get away from these false narratives. I think, I want to say it's the devil that's distracting us all from the face of God. But it's, again, we're going too deep right there.
Oh, girl, yeah, because honey, look, they say the devil, his imps, and everybody, and all those things associated with it. I just like to call a lot of forces of darkness. They're low vibrational energies. They're out there,
It's
and
a
they
distraction.
yes, yes,
It's a
and
distraction.
that's why it's so important for us to spend that time with God, spend time, affirming who we are and knowing who we are and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
now, let me ask you this question. For someone just starting to think about financial planning, when is the right time to consider life insurance? Which you kind of said that, but and what are some of the factors should they evaluate?
Now the time
That's
is of the
nice.
essence. Okay. If you haven't done it, if you've identified a gap, if you got convicted in this conversation, oh my God, if something happens to me tomorrow, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know how they're gonna pay these bills. I don't know how they're gonna pay that car note out there. You need to come talk to me. Set up an appointment. Because there is no cookie cutter approach to the right policy. I can't say everybody needs $300,000 or whatever it is. I need to understand you better so that I can protect you and your family better, right? So that's a conversation. But the right time is right now. Make it a priority. Act like it's a sense of urgency. Look at the news. You got floods happening in biblical proportions. You got fires happening almost now. It's become normal, which is crazy. You just had a pandemic. I hadn't forgotten, you know? And so it needs to be a sense of urgency. Plan, folks, plan. Stop acting like it's not going to happen. The fact is, it's a party that you don't know what time it start, but you got an
Mm,
invite. You going.
mm.
Everybody's going to this party. Everybody's got an RSVP you can't turn down. But
Whoa.
we just don't know what time it's going to get popping off, right? So
Wow.
plan it as if you think the party's going to happen any minute.
Wow.
So
Wow.
make it a sense of urgency to take care of your family is what I would say. There, I wouldn't say tomorrow, next week, or whatever. If you know there's a gap in this space, get on the horn, fix it.
And I I feel compelled to say this, although I wouldn't want to say it, but I feel compelled to say this. Because there are some people that have the right intentions and the right motives to get the policies, but then they will turn around and take their lives for it. Anyone who gets that mindset, I've heard of stories like that. That's why I said it. My
Suicide?
huh?
You said suicide? Like maybe
Yeah,
suicide?
yeah, people, yeah. And to a person that thought ever crossed their mind, please get help. Please get
Yes,
help.
one
Because
hundred
I
percent.
know your family loves you. They would have you over, you making a sacrifice like that. Some people want to be the sacrificial lamb. And I mean, if we gonna have real conversation, we do have to acknowledge that as well. So
Yeah.
um I
Oh yeah.
definitely, but get help, because
Get
that's
help.
what that is. Because
Hey,
I promise you, a loved one's people rather have their loved one with them.
yeah.
So
Well, you know what? Depression is a real thing.
yes,
We would be remiss to not acknowledge the fact that mental illness is a real thing.
yeah,
Maybe it's stigmatized. Unfortunately, it's stigmatized, but we need to, face this beast. And even if you're not dealing with it, I bet you know somebody dealing with it, you know. So I pray that, people find peace and solace and get the help that they need in this space. But life insurance is not the answer. It's not the solution to your depression.
thank you.
It's certainly the solution to make sure your family is going to be okay. But even if you got the policy and you killed yourself a week later, it's not going to pay out because you killed yourself, right? There's a 2-year period. Um, and I don't want to give anybody any ideas here if you're having suicidal thoughts. But I would encourage you to get the help that you rightly need, and I'm sure the family would want you back in full capacity. So,
Amen.
you owe it to yourself and your family to be present.
Yes, that's it. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So, can you share a real life story where having or not having life insurance made a significant difference for a family or an individual?
Oh man. Yeah. I can tell you a personal story, and I can tell you, without giving out names, a work story. One of my employees was chasing someone down for life insurance. They'd done the application. It was a guy, and he just wouldn't sign it. Like, she was chasing him. Oh, I don't have time, this, that, and the other. And then, one day the wife called and said he got in a car accident or something happened tragically, and he's no longer with us. I can't remember the circumstances. And she was shaken by that, and it moved me because it told me that she cared. And my, response to that was, it's unfortunate. But where I would feel bad is if that person called the office and you never asked them about life insurance.
Right.
You never did your part. All we can do is ask,
Right.
you know. But if you're sitting in a seat with a license that allows you to be able to do it, and you don't have the courage to open your mouth, that's unfortunate. Because I tell people all the time, I'm about to get on your nerves, right? But it's my whole job to ask you that. It's okay if you say no, but I'm going to ask you. You're not going to get this question at Walmart. Hey, welcome to Walmart. You need life insurance? No, you're not going to get that. You're not going to get it at Burger King. You want some life insurance with these fries? It's not going to happen. But how dare you walk in my office and you don't get that question?
Right.
You can get mad, and some people do. Stop asking me that. That's cool. I'm gonna ask you tomorrow.
What they say in sales, five no's. Like keep
10
going.
knows, whatever it is. But it's
But
our whole job to ask you that question.
but you know what? As I just said that, have you heard of the book 3 Feet from Gold?
No.
Okay, so the gist of that book, the writer of the book, he in fact Napoleon Hill mentioned that book in his book Think and Grow Rich. And 3 Feet from Gold is a guy had bought had this land that he found gold on.
Mhm.
And so he bought in all this heavy equipment, everything to dig up more gold on the land. And
Mhm.
finally, he was convinced there was not any more gold on the land, and he sold it.
Mm.
And the person who bought the land went 3 feet over from where he was digging and found gold.
Wow.
3 feet. And
Wow.
so the guy the original person, he became an insurance seller. And because of that, seeing that he lost his goal for because of 3 feet, he would not take no for an answer. And he
Mm.
became very successful in selling insurance policies to
Yeah.
his clients.
Yeah.
So
It takes resilience. It takes persistence. It's the person that's going to be most consistent in following up that's going to get the gold, right? And at the end of
absolutely.
the day, and I tell people, listen, oh, at the end of the day, it's your family that's going to win, right? So
Mm,
what if you paid $100 once a month for your car insurance, but we are backing you up for $100,000? And let's say you have an accident and you cause all this damage. I've never heard anybody say, whew, I'm glad I got the cheapest insurance during an accident. No one said, no one. So understanding that you are putting a small amount away in the event that a big thing happens, you know. So if you can really think about it in that respect, in that regards, it's a good sacrifice. Because even if you got $100,000 in the bank, do you really want to have to shell it out?
right.
No,
That's
no,
the
you don't. No, people get sued all the time. I mean, Mayor Giuliani, is it?
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Rolexes you bringing out, cars you giving up, memorabilia you giving up. Yeah. So it gets vicious in a courtroom. So I tell people, look, you want me to take care of it or do you want to take care of it? Yeah. So keep
Wow.
it in perspective why you have insurance. Because I think people feel like insurance is such a burden. Oh, it's going up and down, this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, if you have an accident, especially if it's a catastrophic type of situation, oh, you want that insurance. You probably won't be complaining about paying that $200 when there's a claim out there for 50,000.
Exactly, exactly. And and when you also think about it, like people spend money on a lot of things that's not going to return value into their
Ooh,
lives.
no appreciation value. Very
None.
depreciable.
And even the things that they were spending that money on, like how China blew it out the water with like the fake Gucci's and stuff like that. And just think of some of the price tags that are on those items, and just think how many months of insurance one could have spent
Phew.
on a policy for the cost of one bag. You know what I'm saying?
Paid it up in full for the year, even or 2 years for that matter. I need
Exactly.
one Gucci bag that set you back $3,500 or more. You know,
Yep.
let's not talk about what is it, Hermes and
Girl.
Chanel and
Oh, that Birkin. We talked about
Birkin.
that Birkin a while back. We was like 40,000 for a bag. Come on, man.
That's a whole car. That's a lot of stock.
Yes, yes,
Bonds and all the things you can be doing with that. That's actually going to increase in value.
exactly. And that's what we want. In fact, I don't know if you ever watched that show Ballers, but it had The Rock on it. It was about the football players and this guy that went into the league and the lifestyle that he was living
Mhm.
and stuff like that. And one of the advices The Rock gave him, I forgot, Rock was like a financial manager or something like that. But he was like, listen, don't put your money into things that depreciate, like cars. He was saying lease cars, and he was just giving like a list of things that they make these multi-million dollar contracts, they just
Mhm.
start dropping money here, dropping money there. And he was really trying to give them advice. So where am I going with that is we got to be wise about where we place our money, because especially now we don't need, not to put fear, because I don't operate in fear. However,
Mhm.
we got to be prepared for what is coming. And I feel things like this is preparation. Like
Mhm.
you said, everyone has a date and an appointment with that particular incident in life. We just don't know the date and the time. However,
No.
we want to, be prepared for it. Even, like I said, with children, it's okay to get a policy while they're young, and that way it's cheaper. And
Mhm.
then they build a cash value. There's
They
some
can
good
actually.
information that has been shared here. I hope you guys got it, which I know you guys did. But listen, before we start bringing this in to the chat. If there are any more questions or comments that you have for Sherry, go ahead and drop them so I can read them, because we're going to go ahead and bring this in. And Sherry, while they're thinking, anything else that pops into mind right now?
I have enjoyed my time here today. Thank you so much
Ditto.
for
I
the
enjoyed myself.
conversation. I didn't know where it was going to go. We allow God to use us and lead us, and I can appreciate that. I hope people, have a call to action to do better if this is a space they know they're lacking in, or if I've enlightened anyone that was in the dark about it, I'm happy to do that. If you didn't get it all, reach me at 678-782-3005. You can find me online at your State Farm agent, or is it your SF agent Sherry on Instagram? I always forget that. And senior citizen moment. Facebook, Sherry DeVal Stenard, State Farm agent. I'm on LinkedIn and all the social media platforms. But at the end of the day, it's been my pleasure to be a part of your program today. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for doing it. Thank you for joining us and gracing us with this beneficial information, because this is
Yes.
something we all need. We all need,
Yeah.
period. Like, there is not a person. It's like my new top five favorite books. My one that I feel every human should read or listen to is called The Science of Mind. I feel every
Mm,
human being on this earth should hear or read that book. And it's the same with insurance. Every, like, especially life insurance, every human should have it.
amen.
Period.
Period. Point blank.
Period. Hey, Miss Octavia, thank you for joining us as always. Appreciate you. Oh my God. So, Sherry, listen, you've already given your contact information. You dropped some gems. And look, we even had some mental health discussions. So,
Yeah.
this is good. So, and we're going to have you come back when you have that IUL license so we can
Yeah.
do a further dive into that.
Deeply.
I
Yeah.
love your talk on the philanthropy. That was just like, it's awesome. And as a person with a heart for the people and improving the world, and where I believe the improvement starts with me and it spreads out. What does Corinthians 13 says? Love starts at home and it
Mhm.
spreads. So I love the work that you're doing. Keep it
Thank you.
up.
Mhm.
You never told us about your book because I didn't ask. Tell us real quick about your book. If um
Um, so I'll tell you about the latest one that I wrote with the Southern Crescent Women of Business. And actually, I can show it to you better than I can tell you about it, and then I'll let you go, right? Because I'm at home and I'm quite mobile. Yes, so I will show it to you guys. So when you go buy it, you will actually pick up the right one, right? Because it's pink and fabulous. There it is. You see that?
yes, secrets and what's the small font?
So it's Secrets to Success for Women in Business. Let's make your dreams a reality. It's a collaboration with all these fabulous women that you see here on the cover. So shout out to all of them. Um, that's me when my hair was darker.
Oh, girl, I'm
But
loving
yes.
the blonde. I love. I mean, don't, not to take from the darker, but I love the blonde.
Well, thank
Look
you.
at
Thank you.
you.
Yeah, yeah. I'm in the club now. I'm in the club.
Yes,
Yes,
yes, love
yes.
it, love it, love it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, so thank you for sharing that. I
Yes.
love that. That yes, successful women. In fact, I collab in a book as well. It was called Successful Women's Devotion.
Oh,
So yeah,
nice.
I love this. Anytime we are empowering one another, that's what it's about. Iron sharpening iron. So yes, thank you for sharing that. So
You're
guys,
welcome.
they can find it on Amazon, or where can they find it? Your website?
Amazon. There it is.
Amazon.
Find it
There
on
it is,
Amazon.
guys. So if you want to get a
Yes.
copy of that book. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this in, and just so you guys know a little bit about me, my services are I am a life coach and a transformational speaker who would love to be a part of your event as either a speaker or a MC, because you see hosting is what I do. For more information, you can find me at www.thassawoman.com. So our girl Cola was having some technical difficulties, so that's why she has not been back on, even though her screen has popped up, but she has not been here. She texted me and said that it kept kicking her off. But I'm grateful that she joined us for as long
Mhm.
as she could, because
Yeah.
she is on vacation, which that's the love her and Shelly have. They support even when they on the road. So, and that's because you guys are so awesome, and we want to continue to bring this to you guys and have these type of conversation and these things that just add value to you all. So listen, I do ask, y'all know Sherry gave some good information, so give her a thumbs up by clicking the like
Oh,
button.
thank
And
you. Thank you.
again, if you're not part of our community, subscribe. We'll be here again next Wednesday and the following with new content, 7:30 p.m. We listen, Wednesday this month of July. I'm so anxious for our Wisdom Wednesday, the first Wednesday of the month, because our queens are going to be talking about sex and spirituality.
Mhm.
But next week is another Wednesday, so they won't be here next week. They will be here the following week. But when I tell you, I'm already excited about that conversation. So Sherry, long story short, I have some beautiful ladies, seniors in North Carolina, that come visit with us the first Wednesday of the month, and it's called Wisdom Wednesdays. And so
Okay.
they've been having some really good talk. We started with like universal laws, seven spiritual laws of success, and it's just progressed. And so the next talk is going to be sex and spirituality. Last month, I mean, this month it was the Black Sibyls, which was a ancient matriarch civilization ran by women back like thousands of years ago. But it was a really good conversation. So but
Mm.
looking forward to the next talk. So everyone, be a part of that, join us again. And until the next time, I just want to leave you beautiful people with this quote: education, in which I think we got a lot of education tonight. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. And
Mm.
that came from Nelson Mandela. My words to go: as the world is in a constant state of change, be sure to gain as much knowledge and power as you can. Just so, as in Denzel Washington's book movie, The Book of Eli, if all the systems were to shut down today or tomorrow, you would have everything you need here on the inside to continue to thrive. And notice I said thrive and not survive, because a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people try to resort to the survival mode. You were never meant to survive. You were meant to live an abundant life
Mm-hmm.
according to John 10:10. Peace, love, and blessings to you all. Good night.
Right.
Thanks again, Sherry. I so appreciate
Thank you.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
No. Bye bye.
Bye.